Are you ready to start soldering with the Little Smith torch? Well, check this out. The Little Smith torch runs on 2 tanks, propane and oxygen. The torch uses the propane fuel to light the fire and oxygen to control the intensity of the flame.
Okay, can you shut up and show us how to turn on the torch?
To turn the tanks on, a quarter turn to the left is all it takes. The 2 gauges on the top of the tank measure 2 different pressures. The left gauge measures the pressure in the hose, and the right gauge measures the pressure in the tank. The brass knob attached to the gauges adjusts the pressure in the hose.
Keep in mind, the gauges will not give an accurate reading if the tank isn't on.
When you look at the torch, you will see 2 colored knobs, red for gas and green for oxygen. A good trick to remember them is to think of red for fire and green for trees that give us oxygen. We're going to start by turning on the gas a quarter turn to the left. Now before we actually light it, we need to double check and make sure the hose pressure is where we want it to be. So we need that needle to line up with the Sharpie mark. So we're going to twist the brass knob to the left to lower the pressure in the hose, or to the right to raise the pressure. And yep, that looks pretty good. Now we're going to make sure that the pressure in the oxygen hose is also right. So open the knob for the oxygen and double check that left gauge. The Sharpie line is where we want the needle to sit, so twist the brass knob to the left to lower it or to the right to raise it, and make sure you shut off the oxygen before you light the torch.
It's a little chilly in here. Let's light that torch.
Grab yourself a striker or use the battery operated igniter to light that torch up. We're going to grab our torch, turn the gas on a quarter turn to the left, and we're going to line up the tip of the torch head with the hole on the battery operated igniter, and we're going to press down on the little metal tab with the torch, and boom, fire. Amazing. Now that our torch is lit, we're going to turn the oxygen on by twisting that green knob to the left. And we're just going to kind of fiddle with the knobs, adjusting them to the left or the right as needed until we get a nice neutral flame. Just like that. To adjust your flame for different soldering jobs, you're going to twist both the gas and the oxygen knobs to the left to create a larger or hotter flame, and alternately to the right to create a smaller or cooler flame. To turn the torch off again, we're going to twist the green knob to the right, followed by the red knob. And there you go. Now that you're an expert torch lighter, practice using different size torch tips. They can be found in the left-hand drawer of the soldering bench in this little plastic container. Depending on the size of your project, you may need a larger or smaller tip. We've got a pretty decent selection, including this large rosebud tip. To change them out, untwist the tip from the torch, turning the nut to the left. Then screw on the tip you want, making sure to line the tip up correctly, and then tighten the nut down by hand. The size of the flame on the Little Smith torch can be pretty deceptive as far as how much heat it's packing. Many beginners that are used to using the regular Smith torch will melt stuff quickly using this torch, so keep that in mind. Additionally, the pressure sometimes needs to be changed depending on which tip you're using. You can see there's a little number on this tip, and that number should correspond to the PSI, or the pressure in the hose. So if you're using a tip size 3, you should turn the pressure down in the hose to 3 PSI. Look at your tiny little flame. Now you can solder itty bitty jump rings.
I know it's hot in here, but this next part is really important.
Always be sure to shut off both tanks before you leave the studio. Twist the knobs a quarter turn to the right until they won't turn anymore, and you're good to go.
I hope this video has been informative. Thanks for watching. If you ever need a little extra help, come visit me during studio monitor hours.